Hey everyone, this piece that I scarfed in last time looks pretty good. I'll wait with fairing it to the rest of the boat until I make the inwale, just so I'm sure that I get the lines correct. I don't know if that's the best way of doing it, but it's the way I think will work best for me. So for now I will just leave it like this. So what I want to tackle today is the seam, because of quite a lot of the old rivets are in a bad condition. Some have completely fallen out. So I would like to replace as much as possible of that and try to identify which are the bad rows and which are the good ones, what I can keep and not. What's quite common to do on old boats like this is that instead of trying to replace the old seam, you just put in new rivets in between the old ones and just leave the old ones there. The main reason I don't want to do this on this boat is that some of the old ones have already started falling out, which obviously creates a hole in the boat, and the hole in the boat is not something you want. So that's why I'll try to remove them and replace them in the same holes as much as I can. As you can see here, these rivets are completely missing, so there's no question at all that these needs to be replaced. What's more difficult is when they're still in place and then knowing if you need to do anything about them or if you can leave them be. So I'll have to try to go over the seam and check which ones need to be replaced. So one way of checking the quality of the seam is by using two hammers, where you put one hammer on the outside and then hit with one other hammer on the inside. And you should see the hammer on the outside rebound when you hit the one on the inside. So you'll easily feel it if there's a connection or not. So if it's completely rusted over, you will not feel this connection. So this one's obviously good. So what I'll have to do is just go over the entire seam of the boat doing this and try to figure out when one needs to be replaced and which ones I can keep. The problem is if they're just partially corroded over, then I would still feel this connection, but the rove could still, or the seam could still need replacement. So that's the challenge with it. Now that I've replaced the 3 of the nails in the seam here, I'm not quite happy with the way it turns out. The strategy I'm using is to replace the nails with the nails one size up. That's just to make sure that the holes are actually sealed and watertight afterwards. Because if I replace with the same dimension that was originally used, then the holes will be a little bit loose and they will leak, most probably. So this strategy of one size up leaves me with nails that are a bit too thick for my liking in this case, so I think I'll do something else. What you can see here is that the bigger dimension of the nails means that I'll have to do a lot of hammering on them to clinker them properly, and that damages the wood a bit because the nails are simply too thick for this dimension of wood, and the wood isn't as strong as it would have been if this was new, fresh wood. So what I want to do now, instead of replacing it with the one size larger nails, I just want to drill out the holes a little bit more, and I will drill in or glue in some dowels in the holes, and then I will re-drill smaller holes in those dowels, and I will clinker those with a smaller dimension of nails. That will hopefully be a little bit easier to clinker, and it will also be less damaging to the old wood of the hull. This is what I've been advised to do from people who have been doing a lot of boat restorations in the past, so I think it'll be a good solution, and that's what I'll go for. Unfortunately, I don't have my drill with me here today, so I'll not be able to do it right now, so I'll have to leave that for next time.